It is beautiful weather in southeastern Virginia. We're live. Hey friends, welcome to the Gardener's Workshop live shopping show. And I am thrilled today. We have a lot of fun stuff to share with you. First off, we are kicking it up a notch. We have our commercial soil blocking tools here in the app, the Swift blockers, and I'll be demoing those, as well as our small blocker, kind of like where we all start and then where we're moving up to. I'm going to be sowing marigold seeds. I'm going to be planting salvia cuttings into soil blocks, y'all. Yes, you can do that. And see our first blooms. I literally cut them this morning and they're gorgeous. And I have a giveaway, as always, today for those folks that are watching inside the app. And at the end of the show, I'll be doing a little short Q&A. So if you have questions you'd like for me to try to answer, put the @Lisa and put your question in the comment, and the girls will gather those up and we'll pick two or three to answer at the very end. And so before we get started, friends, we love it when you hit the share button, which is down at the bottom of your screen in the app, and invite your friends and let them know that we are live. And friends, big news, the Cut Flower Handbook will be back in stock next week. So, we sold out of the entire first printing, and we're going to be back on top of things here. And if you want to be insured, we're only getting about 1,000 books. It's the actual end of that first printing. If you want to get one from us, get on the wait list here in the app, and that means the minute they get put in stock next week, you will get notified, so you'll have the opportunity to purchase. Because when you purchase them from us, of course, I autograph and sign all of them, but there's an extra resource, the flowers that didn't make the handbook. So we'd love for you to have that, and Susie has it up so that you can hit that button, and that'll put you on the wait list. And that doesn't commit you to anything, y'all. That just means that you are going to get notification. And we love seeing all of y'all posting on social media about the book too. That is really, really helpful. So just a little reminder that soon the registration will be opening for my Day of Flower Farming. It's May 18th, 2024. It's going to be held right here in Newport News. It's a great exclusive in-person event. It's lectures in the morning up at the end of my street in the chapel, and then we walk down the road to the farm for some hands-on demos, tours, Q&As, and then we go up to the warehouse, which is about 4 miles away. Y'all can shop if you want, and we'll do a big wrap-up Q&A there. So join the wait list over on the website. You can't get on that here inside the app, and then that way, there's only 35 seats available, y'all. That way, if you're on the wait list, then you get notified, which means you can immediately get in if that's what you want. So, and that'll be opening up soon. So remember, if you've set up an account in here, or as you are setting up your account, to be sure to double check your phone number and your email address for typos. Because if it's wrong, then we can't get in touch with you when we go to ship your package if there's some question or issue. So please be sure and check that. So remember, one of the benefits of being here in the app is all seed-only orders ship for free. So if you order just seeds, we pay the shipping on that. And there's a cap on the product shipping. That's $9.95. So when we have products that have additional shipping and we feature them over here in the app, that's where your savings is. So that's a great one. It doesn't matter how many products you buy, you just pay $9.95. And friends, remember that we ship to all 50 of the United States, right? And if you are watching us from Facebook or Instagram, we are so glad that you're here, or even our website. We're so glad you're here, but you need to know that there is a phone app with a lot more features. You get to enter the contest to get the giveaway. You can build a favorites list in the app. You can watch replays. You can post comments and carry on with everybody as they're talking while the show is live. So the app just has a whole lot of just really nice features that just make it a more enjoyable experience, right? So every show, we always sell out of stuff. We never know what the hot item is going to be, right? So if you go to an item and it says out of stock, and it has get on the email notification or get on the notification, do that, because oftentimes the team is bringing over stock from our big website store over to this little garden shop that we have, right? So that's the only thing when you get on that wait list. It's not obligating you to anything. It just means you'll get a little ding and say, hey, that item's back in stock. And friends, we absolutely love it when y'all post the sunflower emoji. That is people identifying themselves as Gardener's Workshop family. And those are our online course students. And we love it when you do that. So friends, again this week, I am giving away a $25 store credit. That means if you're the lucky winner, then you will have a $25 credit sitting in your cart when you go to checkout today. So hit that button Susie has up, and good luck. I hope you're the winner, right? So my book, Cool Flowers, we do have that one in stock. I would love to sign one for you. And you know, Cool Flowers comes with the free resource of a book study. It's a video book study that comes along with it when you buy it from us. Would love to sign a book and send it to you. That's $22.95, and that is all about the cool season hardy annual concept, right? And if you're looking for guidance on maybe succession planting or how I farm and garden without pesticides, Vegetables Love Flowers, y'all, is about a 3-season cutting garden and how I do that. There's a lot of great information in here, and I feel like it's really about my style of gardening, you might say. But I would love to sign one of these for you. It is $25.95, and it just has really, really beautiful, it's more beautiful imagery in here, right? So that's Vegetables Love Flowers. So the deal of the day today is that we have put stock here in the app in for our Swift blockers. Swift blockers are the commercial size soil blockers, and they typically have additional shipping on them because they weigh more to ship. And we have them featured here today, and that's the deal of the day. So if depending on where you live in the country, that's going to be a savings of $7.50 to $11. So you pay the base price of $9.95 to ship whatever you purchase, including Swift blockers, and there's no additional shipping, which you would normally pay over on our website. And this is in-app only, and it's while supplies last over here. And that offer is available through Sunday at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. And friends, that includes our kits for the Swift blockers. So we'll see all that in here in a few minutes. So let's talk a little bit about the commercial seed starting. So the Swift blockers are our commercial size tools. But always keep in mind what I'm always thinking about when I'm choosing which blocker, which fits the number of plants that I want. If I only need 20 of a little plant, I'm not going to use the Swift Blocker 75, which makes 75 blocks. So you still have to go through that process to figure out which size block does the seed do best in and fit in, and how many plants do you actually need. So this is how they fit in the lineup the way that I think of them and use them. So there's the small blocker, which makes that's the little hand tool. That's what I started with. That's what we still probably use the lion's share of the time. That small blocker makes 20 of the 3/4 inch soil blocks. We use that, for celosias and snaps and ageratum and basil and all those tiny little seeds. Now, the Swift Blocker Mini 75, so the small blocker makes 3/4 inch blocks. The Swift Blocker 75 makes 9/10 of an inch square block. While it doesn't sound like it's much bigger, it's really twice the volume of soil. So it takes more soil. but it allows you the opportunity to make more blocks more efficiently and quickly, right? And having a little bit larger block sometimes might buy you time. Those seedlings that might need a little bit more room to grow in, for instance, now with the Swift Blocker 75, I actually start our ornamental peppers, those rooster peppers that we grow as cut flower cuts, in the mini 75 in place of, I used to start the peppers in the small block and then we'd bump them up to the 2-inch block. So that was a little bit extra work. Now, those pepper seeds do beautifully in the mini 75. That block has enough space that it can grow big enough so I can just plant that block straight out in the garden. Other seeds that I plant in the mini 75, you can do marigolds and zinnias and all of those seeds, as well as for cool season, scabiosis and amobium. So the mini 75, when you need volume and you want to do them quickly, the mini 75 is actually the perfect fit for you. Now the mini 20, and I'm going to demonstrate and show all these here in a minute. The mini 27 makes 27 of the 1.5-inch blocks. It is really great for larger seeds, right? There's more root space. You can start sunflowers on these. If you're not doing great volume, they'll do great for that. We start in the mini 27 sweet peas, cerinthe, calendula, and today I'm going to show you how I would start salvia cuttings in these, which it's really 27, that's how many blocks it makes. That's like the perfect amount for me to start for the salvia. So we also have the large blocker. I don't think we're doing the large blocker. Yeah, so sorry, y'all. We're not doing the large blocker. So now I want to do some demo for you, but I want to mention again that the deal of the day is the Swift blockers, and it includes the kits. And no matter what you buy or how many and miss and match, you still only pay $9.95 shipping, and you're having a savings of about $7.50 to $11 for over normal shipping, right? So this is only in app. All right, so now we are actually, let's look at some babies first, yeah. So hand me those others. So I'm going to show you the small soil blocker first. And this is our little mini tray that has 20 of the 3/4-inch blocks. This is some cress, right? And when you don't need a lot of a plant, like we start tomatoes with like this. We start some peppers like this. So this is the small block, the 3/4-inch hand tool, 20 on a tray. Now, what I would have normally done before the Swift blocker, this tray has 100 of those small blocks on it, which I still do that a lot. It just depends on the seed. But on this same tray, one tool full of the mini 75s fits in the same footprint. However, it's 25 plants less. So it really depends on how many seeds you need. But look how beautiful. This is annual baby's breath, Covent. Totally beautiful. And I'll be mentioning these again in a little while because that's one I actually plant again and do a succession. So before I show you the Swift blocker, I want to just demonstrate the small blocker. This is the one that you can go ahead and change the camera if you'd like. That's the one that I recommend everybody start with while you're figuring out your system. There'll be lots of times to actually use that. And so Suzanne is getting the camera adjusted here. And so I use the same blocking mix on all the blockers that I do, right? So that just simplifies it. So the blocking mix is really wet.
If you can't see because of comments, swipe them left or right to get them out of the way.
Right.
See the demonstration.
Right. So the blocking mix is pretty moist, and I just push it down. I do it 2 times so that my chambers are nice and full. And yep, I do a potato masher to scrape off the excess, y'all. And so this is that little mini tray, no drainage holes, allows room to actually water from the side really easily and quick and easy, right? And so that is the small blocker. And so that is a great option for small growers, home gardeners just starting out. And then once you start soil blocking and you realize, wow, how great would those Swift blockers be? Let me show you how they work. They're more of an investment. And yeah, so let me just get ready here, y'all. Because we're having to do it under a camera, I'm doing it a little differently than I do when we're just doing lots of production here. So I'm putting on a pair of gloves because my hands are going to get dirty. And, yep, so here, put the tray in here and take the top tray out. All right, so this is the Mini 75. And it makes 75 blocks at one time. Kind of dreamy, y'all, right? So I'm just trying to think, where am I gonna, so Kelly, that's not gonna work either.
Hold right here.
Yeah. So I need to be able to load. So I am gonna just use my hands to carefully load the Swift blocker. Why am I saying carefully? Because I don't wanna spill a bunch of soil down here on the sides, because that interferes with your watering for the life of your seedlings while they're still in the tray. Can they see, Kelly?
Hopefully with that move.
Okay.
I just need to leave space for her to get the soil.
Wait a minute, pick that up, sister. We got to put it there on the table. I don't feel like I can push it. The bottom of this tray is going to get really dirty, but that's okay. Yep. So there we go. All right, so I'm filling this tray. My soil is a little bit wetter than I would like for it to be, and that always happens. That's why I'm just one of those people. I love measuring. Like, I put 21 cups of soil in the bin, and then I put about 6.5 cups of water, and then you don't have what I'm suffering with right now. Do y'all see that water that's just oozing up? That's because there's too much water in the soil, and that frequently happens. You can see it squeezing up through my fingers. When I'm filling the Swift blocker, I'm always paying really close attention to the edges and the end. So let's see how I've done. So I have found that I need a scraper. Oops, Kelly's got it, of course. I just get all the excess off, not all of it, the lion's share of it. Because see, this is what you don't want to happen. You don't want soil going on. You know, a little bit's okay, but once you care for the blocks and you see what I'm talking about, that they just kind of interfere with your watering. So that's pretty much good enough. Now I am just gonna stick the top tray in. So this is the top, and you're just gonna put it in, and I'm gonna just lift the bottom up, and there you go. So I didn't feel that too good, y'all. And that is what happened. See how a couple of them down here kind of fell off to the side? So I didn't pack enough soil because I had it too wet. But look how quickly and easily, can I have a popsicle, plant marker stick probably? If you can find one, maybe I'll use this. Let me just stand these back up for y'all because I do wanna, I think this was working. Oh, that'd be good, thank you. I never touch the blocks with my hands. These are not the best blocks I've ever made, y'all. Sorry. And you know what? Stuff happens. All right, so I'm gonna set these aside. You're gonna have to
put it back in the tray there.
And now I want to make the 27, and then I'm going to sow some seeds. So let's see if I can do a better job, y'all. I might get fired, right? All right, so, and when you're doing this on a big table and you have your system down, this goes so much quicker. We're just kind of constrained here with the way the studio is, or having to do it with a camera. All right, and so I feel like having the soil a little less wet for swift blocking, the opposite of what you do for your hand tools, is often the best way, because you don't have, because you're pushing the blocks out in a different method, it works a little bit better. All right, let's see if we can't get this down here. Now, you'll find that the 1.5 inch Mini 27 takes a lot more soil. That's one reason that I'm just kind of attached to that 3/4 inch block. It uses so much less blocking mix. All right.
Is there a reason why you don't touch the blocks with your
because it smushes them. They're wet and vulnerable. Somebody asked why I don't touch the blocks with my hands when there's no roots running through the blocks. That really can impair the integrity of the blocks. You know, once they've got roots moving through them, it's one thing, but you'll smash them, misshape them, and then they don't sit upright. All right, so let's see if I'm going to do a better job on this one, y'all. All right, I need the top. Yep, thank you. All right, so here's the top tray. And again, you lift the bottom up. I think I did a better job, y'all. And it just takes a little practice. So, all right, so I'm gonna first, are we gonna get rid of this tray?
Yeah, I think we should do that. Let's just sew the salvia.
Yeah,
Okay.
sew it in there because.
Okay, I need a pencil, which we have. So this is the Mini 27, and I'm just gonna do the salvia cuttings in here. This is so simple and easy,
Can I
y'all.
turn it?
What?
Can I turn it?
You can do it, yeah, whatever you'd like.
So that they can
Wait a
see
minute.
better. Here we
Yeah.
go.
Turn it long way so y'all
Yeah,
have a
so
better
they can
view.
better view.
All right, so if you want to learn more about taking the salvia cuttings and preparing your cuttings, 2 weeks ago I did this more in detail, but this week I'm just showing you how to use the 1.5-inch block to put your cuttings in. So I'm using a pencil to make the hole, and I'm hoping this is going to go really quick because I really love to do all these blocks really quickly, so I'll have them. All right, so I have my cuttings here, and I'm dipping them in water, dipping them into a little bit of rooting mix. And I will tell y'all, I really prefer firmer stems, which aren't as easy to get this time of the year from your mother plant. You know, they've just been living here. The mother plant's just been living here in my garage, you know, with bare minimal life support, right? So it's just getting started growing. So the cuttings get better and better as time goes on, but I like to have my cuttings like ready to go in the ground.
Did you show them the cuttings?
Yeah, so these are the cuttings, and I do, if y'all can see this, see there's just one little nub of a leaf right there. That's enough. That's all you need is some little tad of vegetation. And I'm dipping them into the rooting hormone, which the rooting hormone is available here in the app. And that's a golden retriever hair also, which always helps them grow better. And see, this one has just one big leaf. So there's a wide range. And I don't think I'll have time to do all these because we want to show y'all so much more. So I'll do this one row. If y'all will help me remember to finish this after the show. Dip one last, rolling it in the hormone, which helps it to root a little faster. And if you want to learn more about cuttings, then you want to just take the whole thing away.
And what type of cuttings were these again?
Those were Salvia mexicana. So that is a salvia that blooms much later in the summer. Do you want to wipe the bottom of this with a paper towel so it doesn't get your rug? All right, y'all. So we're kind of in a different spot. We've got a different table and it's a little higher too. All of these things affect what you're doing. So is that good, sister? You line it up.
Yep.
All right.
Good.
So marigolds, zinnias, cosmos, they're all these long, skinny seeds, right? And these are just simply coated. That's clay that they're coated with. That makes it so that the seed sellers, not me, the people we buy from, can count them easier and better, and they don't get as damaged. So I thought I would sow these since they're easier to see, right? So the way that we sow marigolds is the very same way we sow zinnias. We just poke them in.
And if you can't see because of comments, just swipe right or left and they'll disappear, and you swipe left or right and they'll come back.
And so that clay coating literally just melts away. You know, I mean, it's not any kind of treatment. I need a toothpick, please. Oh, there's one. These are kind of small marigolds. And we're going to be looking at marigolds today. Marigolds are a crop that people don't like to use them because they have a fragrance. And friends, I'm here to tell you the fragrance is not the flowers. It is the vegetation. So you can see I'm just poking it and pushing it in. Now, you do have the option of doing this before you push the blocks out. But the problem with doing that for us is that you have to stop, make a tray, sow it, clean your hands up, sow the seeds, then push it out before you can load the next tray. You don't realize that until you start making them, right? And so I'm just pushing them straight in. This is the very same thing you would do on cosmos and zinnias. We actually plant them just like this in the 3/4 inch block, but when you want to make more blocks, maybe have a little bit more space, this is just really a great option. And my fingers are wet, so it's not working the best. So you can use a toothpick to get it started and just push it home. And that is planting it. All right, and that is the last one of those that we're gonna do. But it's kind of fun, y'all. This is like cross stitching, right? You wanna just do more and more and more. So this block will give you a little bit more wiggle room. And when you plant them, you don't have to be quite so, with the small blocks, you need to get them in the ground when it's time to get them in the ground. All right, so that's how we sow the seeds. Now, you want me to show the blockers?
Sure.
Yeah.
You want to go up or stay down?
I think, yeah, so let's stay down for a minute. So I just want to give you the bird's eye view. So this is the blocker. It has the top tray that comes off. That is the Mini 75. And these green trays are not available here in the app. You will find those over in our big app store. So the Mini 75 makes 75 of the 3/4 inch, 9/10 of an inch block. And then the Mini 27 makes 27 of the 1.5-inch block. And once you are in production and you know you're going to be soil blocking and you're set up, these are just great, efficient ways to do that. I need that one back, I think. So another way that we have the Swift blockers available is the Swift Blocker Mini 75 kit, y'all. That includes the Mini 75. It includes a bag of the nutrient mix that is enough to make 6 recipes of blocking mix with your peat moss and compost. It also includes, I didn't even talk about the scraper. This is the scraper that comes with it. And for the Mini 75, this can also be a seeder. This works really, really well. Just imagine that these were the blocks. You lay this right on top. I'm just gonna move it up a little bit. You can dump your tiny seeds right here, then just grab a seed with your finger and just push it over to the hole. This works really well for people sowing celosia, snapdragons, and those tiny little seeds. So this is for the Mini 75. So the kit includes this scraper seeder. It also includes 5 of these green trays. And you get everything for $297.95 with $9.95 shipping. Y'all, normally the shipping is more than that. So that is everything you need to get started Swift blocking. All right. Now you can purchase just the Mini 75 by itself. I need that back, sister.
Now, when you already talked about this, right?
Yep.
Did you bring them up?
I did, it was short. But
Okay, so you can buy the Mini 75 by itself for $218.95 plus $9.95 shipping. And then you can also purchase the scraper for $38.95. And the scraper scrapes both models, but the cedar portion is just for the 75. And y'all, I just can't tell you how helpful that is with snapdragons and celosia. It works really, really well. And then the Mini 27 blocker, which makes 27 of the 1.5 inch, is $208.95 with no tray.
No tray.
Yeah, that's just the blocker. And so again, volume of plants, think efficiency. When you're thinking about your time and labor, time is the most costly thing that we have. Now, if you want to just get started with soil blocking for the first time out, I think there's blocking mix the soil. All right, here we go. You can get started with the Soil Block Maker Kit, which includes the 3/4 inch soil blocker. It includes a bag of our ready-made mix. You do not need to add anything to this. This makes about 500 of those small 3/4 inch blocks. It includes the seed pan as well as a cute little toothpick dispenser. It has plant markers, and it includes 3 free seeds. You can select either warm season seeds or cool season seeds. And y'all, this kit also includes our Seed Starting Made Easy online course. That's about a 115-minute course that I take you from beginning to end for soil blocking and sowing seeds straight out in the garden. So that's $89.95 and $9.90 plus $9.95 shipping, and that gives you everything you need to actually get started soil blocking. Or you can just purchase the soil blocker by itself if that's all you need. Maybe you've already got the bigger blocker, or you're seeing the need for this. So this makes 20 of the 3/4 inch blocks. And again, that's the one that I use a great deal of the time. So the DIY Soil Block Maker Kit this is a kit we have just brought back, y'all. This is the small blocker, the seed pan, and the DIY nutrient. So instead of getting the blocker kit that has the course and the soil, this is for you to make your own blocking mix at home. And again, this DIY is with your peat moss or cocoa fiber and compost that's been sifted, and it'll make about 500. It'll make 6 recipes, and each recipe makes about 500 of these small little blocks. So this is a great cost-effective way to actually just get started. Now we are offering this week over here the 6-quart bag of the Fort V Vermont compost ready-made mix. It's $15.95 plus $9.95 shipping, and this bag will make about 500 of those little blocks. See, that's what I love about the little blocks, y'all. It makes the most out of all your resources, right down to how much heat mat space the little blocks take, to the grow light. So this little bag goes a long way when you're actually using that small blocker. And then you can purchase the DIY nutrient mix alone. And so again, this is a 32-ounce, 2-pound bag that makes 6 recipes, and it's powder. That's the key. This is nothing but rock phosphate powder and green sand, which is what you need when you're mixing seed starting mix, for it to really you don't want any lumps and chunks, right, or granules. And so if you are making your own blocking mix, we have what we call the soil set. That includes the sifter, which is on the very bottom. And friends, this sifter fits perfectly onto a 5-gallon bucket. It makes sifting a walk in the park. It's just quick and easy. Again, it comes with the nutrient mix. It also includes the fungus gnat fighting set. That is the mosquito bits to put into your watering can, which kills the fungus gnat larvae that are in the moist soil. And then also the 5 of the sticky traps to capture the adults that are flying around laying the eggs in your moist soil. So we implement fungus gnat prevention from the very first seeds that we start right up through the season until we're actually done. And then this also includes the aluminum seed pan, which y'all, with no static electricity in this little thing, it will revolutionize sowing little tiny seeds. This is the toothpick dispenser. We love it. Look, y'all, thegardenersworkshop.com, 25 years and growing. Can you believe it's been 25 years? I can't. So all of this comes together for $58.80, and everything you see here is available separately in the app if you just need one component of this, right? So that is the soil set. Now, we were talking earlier about different size soil blocks depending on how many plants you need. My goal is always to have whatever tray I use to be full of blocks. You don't want to use a large tray and only put one set of blocks, because that will take up more of your seedling heat mat space and your grow light space. So I use all the different sizes. So this is the mini, which is $1.95 for a 5-pack. These are reusable foam. We use them for years, y'all. This holds a cluster of 20 of the small blockers, and it is available in a 25-pack. This is the small tray. It holds 2 sets of 20 or 2 sets of 4 2-inch blocks, and a 5-pack of this is $2.95. And then this is what we call the large tray, and it holds 3 sets of the small blockers. So 60 plants fit on this block. And again, these are all made out of reusable foam that we use from year to year. All right, now, y'all may have heard me speak about this before. This is the garden marker that we're just getting ready to get a new stock here on the farm. We use these all the time for marking on masking tape, on the foam trays, on wooden markers. This is made to sustain, to last with UV rays and moisture. So you can see we put masking tape on our trays. Well, actually, we write on the roll of masking tape the name and the date it was started. This is from last year, April 24th, and it holds on. So it's just regular old masking tape. We stick that on plug trays, cafeteria trays, all the trays get that, and this is the pen that we use, and it's $6.95. So another really important piece of the seed starting success story is a seedling heat mat. Most people don't realize most seeds need to reach 75 to 85 degrees to actually break dormancy and sprout. And unless your house is 95 degrees consistently, you're not going to get that with a mass of soil. That's why the seedling heat mat, which has a built-in thermostat, that's what this little lump is back here, heats the heat mat 15 to 20 degrees warmer than the surrounding air temperature. So it warms the soil up so that the seed can sprout. So this is $39.95. You plug it in and leave it plugged in while you're in the sprouting seeds. And once 50% have sprouted, we move them over to the grow light. Now, something I have found really useful, because many of the seeds that we're growing are so tiny, oftentimes they're surface sown. That means they dry out really quickly. We use wide weave burlap in place of, we don't use domes or plastic on top of our trays. It's just too easy to encourage diseases like funguses that cause dampening off. So burlap retains moisture but also allows air circulation. So this comes in a 36 by 36 approximately piece, and it's $3.95, or you can get a 3-pack for $9.95. Sister, why don't you tell us about the watering can?
So this is our new cute little watering can. It's called the Espresso watering can. It's stainless steel, and it holds, do we say 3 cups, 2.5 cups?
2.5 cups.
2.5 cups. Perfect, gentle stream to be able to water your seedlings, you water just in the corner of the tray. You don't want to water the seedlings on top or directly. And it just is the perfect gentle stream for those babies. And it's beautiful to just leave sitting on the shelf in between watering, or to actually put flowers in. I think it would be beautiful with some flowers in. So the espresso watering can, stainless steel, $29.95, and it is just beautiful. Next up, we have the Neptune's Harvest. It is the fertilizer we use here on the farm. We follow the house plant directions to water the seedlings once a week, and that really helps them grow and be happy. It is a little smelly, so you do want to do this and being aware of maybe somebody not working outside that door, like my sister used to do it every Monday because I was here on Mondays and I got to enjoy the smell all day. She will get payback. But the Neptune's Harvest is $15.95, and this is a 1-pint container. Now, it's just a reminder, if you haven't already signed up for the in-app giveaway, it's a $25 credit. Just hit the join the wait list and you will be entered, and they'll randomly pull that. You do need to be present to win, and Kelly will put that right into your account as soon as we draw the name and you respond that you're here.
If you're that lucky person.
That's
All right,
right.
Sister, you want to move the camera back up?
I will.
That'd be awesome. All right. In case you joined late, I will be answering a couple of questions at the end of the show. They'll choose a couple, so to post your question, to get on that list, just put @Lisa and then type in your question, and I'll do my best to answer it if yours happens to be the one that has gotten chosen. All right, so we're going to now look at some seeds and the first blooms on my farm. But I always like to just mention storing your seeds properly makes seeds last a really long time, y'all, sometimes for years. And starting with desiccant packs, these absorb the moisture that might be in the seeds or in the seed packets. And so this is a 2-pack for $2.95. or a 10-pack for $9.95. And this is just one of those great tools to have on hand. And y'all, the first blooms for 2024, what do you think? These are Cerinthe, and they are quite unique and incredibly beautiful in person. But I really want to just point out, look at the stem length on these things. Let me step back. Look how tall they are.
So when did you start those?
So these were planted last fall. They are quite winter hardy. And the blooms are just, I'm trying to get, there we go. They're blue purple. What would you call that?
No, color you do not see often.
You just
That
don't.
Deep purple.
And the foliage, which is a common conversation piece, because Kelly already said, what's wrong with the leaves? Y'all, they've got little spots on them, but that's how the leaves are. And I will tell you that this is one of the flowers that I will even use before the blooms start to open. The foliage is so beautiful.
I would call this a Prince Purple.
There you go. We're going to name it Prince after him. But this is Cerinthe, totally beautiful. This is just a great example of planting at the proper time to allow them to get established, and they just take off. And these were just cut out of the garden here this morning, and they are pretty dadgum beautiful. So I want to talk to you about a couple of other cool season hardy annuals that you can actually plant now. Now, this is perhaps one of the most confusing groups of flowers or families, Dianthus, which is known as Sweet William. There are many different varieties. You have to, if you want to do what I'm talking about, you have to stick with the variety I'm mentioning, right? This is the Dianthus Amazon series. Amazon comes in 4 colors. We succession plant this after our very early spring planting, right? So we just finished our very early spring plantings, right? We are preparing to plant them again in 4 to 6 weeks because this specific variety does not need cold treatment and it tolerates heat a little bit better. This is the cherry, which is a really beautiful red color. And y'all, look at this one. This is the Amazon purple. This is like so amazing when you're building bouquets. If you're doing a bouquet program, the Amazon purple is really bright and beautiful. And again, so there's 4 colors in this series. And what I'm saying to you is you could start these right now and plant them 4 to 6 weeks after your very early spring planting. It doesn't work every year, but most years it does. And how do you know it doesn't work? They just don't grow as tall and robust. But that is the purple. And then the next up, which is this is Amazon Rose. I had to look at the name because the next one is similar. I will tell you that when I walked in, our highest volume florist, I had so much of this one year on Mother's Day. I mean, he bought like 10 buckets, which is probably like almost 100 bunches. When I was loading in to his shop, he said, you know, you'd have thought you did this on purpose. This is the perfect Mother's Day flower for florist. If you're making bouquets or selling to florists, this is Rose Magic. Super long lasting. And friends, we cut this particular series when only about a quarter of the flowers are starting to open. The rest of them are green. The greenery is great filler. Totally love it. And then look at this. This is also, I'm looking at, this is a new color, Lavender Magic. And it is similar to Rose Magic, but it's more purpley. Yes, I would grow both of them if I was selling to florists. And so this is another great one that's in the same series. Amazon series goes from seed to bloom in about 16 to 20 weeks. No cold treatment needed. So this is one that I would be starting again. Now, another, those seedlings that I showed you, this is what this is. This is annual baby's breath. I always say annual first because this is not the perennial baby's breath. This is the annual. This is our very early spring planting. But last year, we started it again about now and planted it out in 4 weeks. And it still got tall enough. Look at those beautiful, dainty little white open face flowers. They're like little miniature cosmos is exactly what they are. If you do wedding work or if you do bouquets, this is the magical flowers. And so these are cool season hardy annuals. And then it's also time to start more feverfew. We plant feverfew following that same pattern 4 to 6 weeks after our very early spring planting. And this is our all-time favorite for mixed bouquets. This is the single Vegmo, and it looks like little miniature daisies. And you know, our fall planted feverfew is like chest high. You don't really need it that tall, right? And so that's what made me start planting it more further into summer, additionally, because it doesn't grow that tall, but it still grows tall enough. And then also the White Wonder is another great choice. It is really, I mean, these are flowers, if you sell to florists or you're making bouquets, you just can't have enough of them. I do want to give you a warning though, especially with the white ones. Put one nice stem in a bouquet. If you put a bunch of stems, the white just takes over the bouquet. Because I know they bloom a lot. They all seem to bloom at one time. I would rather compost half of the stems than overdose bouquets because all your bouquets will look alike. That's not what you want to happen. So that's White Wonder. So let's talk about the warm season stuff that we're starting. You know, you just saw me sow marigolds into the Mini 27 Swift Blocker. Y'all, what people don't realize about marigolds, the people that don't like the fragrance, which I'd say it's 50-50, it's the foliage that smells. You can strip the stems of all foliage. I have done it bazillions of times because these giant marigolds are big. They last weeks in a vase. They are super easy to grow. They're hot, bright colors. So this is the giant mix. I mean, these things grow 36 inches tall. So this mix has orange and yellow in it. So that's a great one. If you're just learning about marigolds, that might be a great one to go with. However, if you are an old timer like I am that just knows the value of marigolds, we grow them in the individual colors. This is the Cocoa Gold. Gold, oh my goodness, you have to have this for Halloween. I mean, we grow marigolds all season long. This is the gold, and they are huge, y'all. These blooms are enormous. So this is a straight color. This seed packet only has gold seeds in it. Then we have, whoops, my favorite bouquet color, yellow. This really brightens up bouquets, and this is also a cocoa. They're just bombs. That's what we call them. They're just really big blooms, and again, if the foliage is a problem, you learn how to strip stems quickly and efficiently to get rid of the foliage, right? So we use these in our supermarket bouquets for years. Totally love the cocoa yellow. Then y'all, look at y'all, don't know, you all know that orange is my favorite color, right? So this is cocoa orange and deep orange. Thank you, sister. And it's a beauty. Again, they're just huge, long-lasting, bright colors. And so in my business, we sold to lots of florists. I had about 3 florists that loved marigolds, didn't mind their smell at all. And I had some others that just didn't even want to hear about marigolds. So you just figure it out and go with it, right? But for bouquet making, we loved them because let me show you the very favorite marigold I have ever grown. And y'all, that's this. It's called White Swan. There's 2 huge benefits to this. First off, it's like buttercream color. And this is a low fragrance foliage marigold. I'd be almost as brave to say there really is no fragrance, but then there's the super sniffer that'll say, I can still barely smell it. This is the marigold that we grow a lot of. Totally love it. I will tell you the Japanese beetles, marigolds are a Japanese beetle trap crop. They love these lighter colors more, so you have to really get a handle on that. White Swan is perhaps the most useful because we don't have to strip them, and they're a great neutral color. Which brings us to, this is called No Scento marigolds. Get it? No scent. Oh, that's what they are literally named. I will tell you these seeds are not as strong as germinators as the rest of them, but if you're looking for a marigold that has literally no fragrance, they hybridized these, I think about 3 years ago they came out. They're a nice color and they have no scent, but warning, the Japanese beetles devoured ours last year. So you have to, and I didn't even realize that was happening until it was too late. So they're worth it because again, if you can get them, they're long lasting. They are great for a supermarket bouquet support program. And okay, what?
I have a card for a couple of these.
Oh. All right, so I don't have cards for a couple of these, but I wanted to mention for Gumpfrina, what she has up right now is the Audra Pink. That is a hot pink Gumpfrina. You cannot, if you're doing bouquets for market, for bouquet subscriptions, and florists love them also for bunches, you can grow every color of Gumpfrina. We do. Audra Pink is a really hot pink magenta kind of color. It just makes everything pop. And if you haven't experienced Gumpfrina, where's some, hand me, can you pull those out? I'm just going to show you what the flower looks. This is not the color of this one, but they are these little ball flowers, y'all. They do stuff for bouquets that nothing else does, right? So I'm going to use that in just a minute. So they do something for bouquets that no other flower did. And I'll tell you, I did stop growing Gumpfrina during our high production years because it was just more of a challenge to harvest when you're harvesting. Literally, we harvested 10 to 15,000 blooms a week in season. And so we got rid of all the troublesome stuff. That was one. But totally worth it to grow it when you're a small market farmer. We grow a ton of it now, and you'll absolutely love it. Then there's another color called Pastels Mix, that is gorgeous. We'll have some pictures soon. That is another great one to actually grow. And then we have the Audra Bicolor Rose, and that's what this is. Look at, it's just the coolest color. So these are dried, by the way, y'all. These have been dead for a year. And they still look awesome, right? So this is the Audra Rose Bicolor. I will tell you that the Audra series of Gumpfrina is the easiest to harvest of any I've ever grown. Then we have purple. Is this what's next? Oh, that's not what's next. Sorry. Who doesn't need another white flower? And y'all, you would grow, if you're a small grower, you would grow like 5 feet of each color, not 50 feet of each color. And succession plant it. That's what gives you variety and diversity in your bouquets. The Gumfrida is great for boutonnieres if you're doing that kind of work, or on cakes. So the white is just incredibly useful. Then we have carmine. I will tell you, carmine is a different variety, and it's the stems are a little more fragile, but it's a really pretty, softer pink color. It's more like a rose, soft kind of color. But carmine I've grown for many, many years, as is Strawberry Fields. This is red. This is what you grow for 4th of July. You want to have this to put with ageratum and white flowers and red zinnias. And so Gumfrida is a really, really big one for us. So friends, it's time for us to wrap this up today. Remember to stick around to the very end for the Q&A. And you know, if you need more resources, and we have a boatload of free ones over at thegardenersworkshop.com. We have videos, blogs, podcasts, and we have 2 podcasts, y'all. We have Field and Garden with yours truly. And then we also have Seed Talk with Lisa and Lane, which yesterday's episode that just came out was early sunflower checklist. I mean, some really useful, and actually Seed Talk has videos over on our YouTube channel, so you can check them out there too. And so I am hosting Ask a Flower Farmer this week on Instagram at 12:30 on Wednesday Eastern Time. Be sure to check me out there if you have questions and I didn't get to your question today. Meet us back here for next Friday's live shopping show. And next week, we'll be celebrating St. Patty's Day for all things green, right? So now we're going to do the drawing for the $25 certificate. Actually, it's a store credit. And so I hope you're here because you are going to get the $25 store credit just sitting in your cart waiting for you. Oh, and here we go. The winner is, hope you're here, Helen Ashley. Helen Ashley, if you're here, give us a big old shout out in the comments. Congratulations. That credit will be added to your account in just a few minutes. Give us a big shout out. And so I love giving stuff away, y'all. So let's look and let's do a couple of questions here. Will there be an open farm day this year? Yes, there will. What is the date, Kelly?
Let me look at the calendar.
Wait a minute. We just changed it. This is why we don't announce it too soon. Things happen.
June 29th.
June 29th. And we are going to have some really great special guests here this year for folks that come. The farm is open, the warehouse will be open, and it'll be a lot of fun. You know, that's a free event. Oh, Helen's here. Congratulations. So Kelly is now putting that $25 cha-ching right into your cart. So when you check out, I mean, what a deal. You should buy a Swift Blocker, Helen, if you're a commercial grower. What a deal, right? So the open farm is going to be tons of fun. And it's rain or shine, so bring an umbrella and boots. I've done it in all kinds of crazy weather, so we'd love to have you here. So what are the dimensions / footprint for the mini 75 blocker? What a great question. Can somebody measure that? But I will tell you that our they actually made those to fit into our green tray. Kelly's actually measuring it right now.
14 1/4.
14 1/4 long, 14 1/4 long.
Just shy.
And just shy of 5 inches. And they fit beautifully in our green trays that you'll find over on our website. That we just love those darn trays, y'all. We import those from England and they last forever.
So come with a kit today.
And they also, oh, that's right. Thank you, Susie. So those trays come in the Swift Blocker kit today. So if you're buying the 75, it's definitely worth thinking about those trays because they fit beautifully. And 2 mini 75s, and the 27's the same footprint, I believe. Both of them, you can put 2 sets on a cafeteria tray, which is what we used so much before, right? I bought the pre-made blocking mix. Is there a measurement of liquid to add? Yes. It is 3 parts, 3 scoops of mix to 1 scoop of water, as long as you're using the same size measurer. So for us, like that's about 20 cups, 21 cups. So that'd be 6 or 7 cups of water go with it. And it's always better to measure for those reasons I talked about earlier. It's easier to overdo it, you know? And I've already answered the don't touch the blocks. What exactly do you mean by early spring? When is very early spring? What great questions. So first off, if you read my book, Cool Flowers, which is all about growing cool season hardy annuals, and it explains when fall planting is and then when very early spring planting is. So very early spring is 6 to 8 weeks before your last spring frost. So for me, my last spring frost is historically mid-April. 6 to 8 weeks before that is like Valentine's Day to March 1st. So that means in that 2-week window is the optimal time for me to plant transplants out in my garden. That allows these cool season hardy annuals that survive cold. It gives them time to get established and get ready to perform before spring gets here, right? So very early spring is that 6 to 8 week window, and those flowers that I was talking about today that you could continue to plant a little bit later than that would be 4 to 6 weeks after your very early spring planting time. So I hope that helps you, and I'm going to answer this question because I know it's are you starting cosmos and zinnias now too? No. And so, you know, friends, when you soil block, that shaves about 1/3 of the conventional, like when you read a seed packet and it says start 8 weeks, you know, before you want to plant them. If you're going to start that same seed in a soil block, you can take about 2.5 weeks time off that. Soil block plants just grow quicker because the plants are not in a container and the roots get so much oxygen, they just simply grow faster. I can't tell you all the science, but I can tell you I've lived it for 27 years, right? So zinnias, we only start 2 to 3 weeks before it's time to plant them out. And if there is one message that I want you to take away from my new book, the Cut Flower Handbook, is it teaches you, no matter where you live in the world, when you should plant warm season annuals and when you should be planting cool season annuals. Why you don't plant them early, why you don't push the envelope. It's not necessary because we have both families to plant. And that'll really help answer that. So I highly recommend, if you don't already have my book, get on the darn wait list so you get in on the next shipment. Then after we sell out of this next order that comes next week, there will be no books available from the publisher until April. That's the second printing that'll come due. And we've got a boatload of those coming, but there will be dry spells. Y'all, it's time. If you figure out when you plant, you won't ever have to ask questions in your mind when you see something. So hope that you that helps you. So get on the wait list for the book, and I hope to see you next Friday right here inside the app. Till we meet again, friends.